Yeah. Okay. So that's the stainless steel tube.
Sorry, my power is going. That might have been part of it.
No, it was I had my audio. I was messing around trying to figure out how to get audio off of the sound off of the board last night because right now, yeah, go ahead and clip that stainless steel tube in half.
So with the you were saying that your Bosch bit broke in that video. Were you just using this as your drill bit?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Just like you
putting like little saw marks in it.
Yeah, just like you would make your homemade plug cutter.
Yep. Yep.
And it worked. I think it worked better.
Great.
So here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna select an exaggerated length of nichrome wire, and you're gonna select an exaggerated, kind of a similar exaggerated.
Like 3 feet?
No, just so that you have like maybe an inch on either end of the stainless steel there.
Got it. Times 2.
Yep. And you got those fancy Jesscar fret cutters, don't you?
Oh yeah. I almost got the ones with the hammer thing. I was like, fuck that. I've got 3 hammers. So, But yeah, it's the nice. You got a little
standoff
belt there.
A little standoff. I don't actually clip my my frets on the guitar like that. I cut them pretty close and I start filing. Like
yep,
I felt like I was twisting them a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, I see that on the mostly on stainless. Yeah, where you get a twist.
Yeah.
So we're through.
Okay, so you're putting the insulation on there?
Yeah.
Okay, so now give yourself like just a micro pube at the end of the nichrome hanging out there.
Okay. Yeah.
And then stick that all into the stainless steel tube with that little micro pube sticking out the bottom end.
Okay. And do you want the insulation on there?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, so it's insulation, wire.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep. And you want a little bit of wire hanging out the other end too, because that's what you're going to put your lead on.
Yep.
Did you kind of reshape the bottom of that end to be circular again?
Yeah. Let me just do a quick sand.
There you go. That'd be good. That would be a good move.
So as of today, I can go back to the shop.
So what's your shop? Is it a full repair and construction shop, or what are you up to in there?
Yeah. So I have 2 guys that help with repair work, and one of them also helps with building.
Uh-huh.
And they kind of, to some degree, make their own hours, but we'll have to kind of shift that around a little bit because we'll have to do curbside pickup and stuff like that now.
Yeah.
So we've basically been out of the building game for 2 months. So I've a lot of catch up to do on that end of things.
I wonder.
So I've got the insulation coming out.
Yep. And then, so there's a little bit more wire than the insulation, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to you're gonna take and you're gonna bend over the end of that wire and make like a little thing, like a little, like almost the start of a knot. You're probably gonna want to grab some pliers to do it. Go ahead and pull it back out.
So the start of a knot.
Well, I mean, actually, hold on. Let me.
Is it just to keep it from coming out?
Yeah, like so that you're basically gonna put like a little hook on the end of it.
Yeah.
So just just something like that, and you're gonna get the insulation as far down to that hook as you can, but not kind of touching that hook. You want that hook to be tight because you're gonna shove that hook back up the end of the stainless steel.
Got it. I knew there was more to this than getting the materials together.
Well, honestly, I'm doing this video now, and I was gonna do like a proper one as a incentive to get people to get me up to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, but I don't think I'm gonna be that lame guy doing lame shit like that.
So fold that.
Yeah, and it just like maybe a 1/16 inch of bend over and hook,
and then crimp it.
Yeah, and then give it a good crimping.
Big crimping.
Big crimping. I believe you'll be spending the cheese after this.
Yep. Nice tight crimp.
Now get your insulation kind of pushed back up to where it's grabbing part of that crimp.
Okay.
I mean, if you can slide it over just the end of that crimp, that would be great. But you want the bottom of the crimp to definitely be making contact with that stainless steel tube, because that's your return.
Okay. So maybe not a super tight crimp.
It could be tight as long as it goes back up in there. I don't think it's gonna pull back out if you're manipulating the wire at the top of it.
Okay.
But if you could figure, I've never figured it out because I don't silver solder. But if you could figure out how to put a drop of silver solder in the end of that or something, like regular solder doesn't want to go in there because I think the surface tension is such that it just I can't get it in there. But
okay.
So that's it. You got yourself a resistance heater there. So,
and then on this end,
yeah, I would probably have. I would probably bare that wire probably about an inch from the top of the stainless steel tube. Take the insulation off, and then clip that wire to where there's maybe an inch of the, just a little bit of the wire, not quite an inch, maybe a half inch out of the insulation, so you can clip your alligator clip to it.
Got it. Yeah, I don't think I have silver solder here.
It's not an issue.
I'm not gonna fire. I won't really end up firing it up today.
Well, we could fire it up right now. A single one. You're set up to do a single one. We could fire it up if you want to.
Okay. And you don't think I should do the way that you've got it? Just strip the wires back and gang them together. You think I should plug it in?
Well, you could run. Trying to think. Even with the one wire, like you could run it in series.
Yeah.
I guess. I've never run it in series. I'm guessing the way that I have it daisy chained is parallel, but I'm not 100% sure.
It's hard to.
The thing about series, I think, is if for some reason you I don't think they heat 100% evenly, And I think if you if one fails, then the other one takes the entire load, and it definitely will fail. If you've got it set to the maximum on this for two, which
Yeah.
this one at two, when you have two, kind of how you made it there,
Yeah.
you get about 220 degrees out of each one.
Okay.
And that's pretty much the limit of that that DC power supply. I think that one goes up to like 5 amps or something.
Yeah.
But 5 amps will make one of those go poof. It doesn't really go poof. It just the nichrome like shorts inside of there, and the nichrome kind of burns up, and then you got another drill bit. Perfect.
Yep.
Do you have a third hand like alligator clip thing?
No, but I'm pretty dexterous, I guess.
Well, you're not going to want to hold on to it when it's hot.
Oh, good point. How about my Stumac Vice?
Sounds good. Nut and saddle vise.
Yeah.
Do you have a multimeter with a thermocoupler there?
Yeah. So if it's just kind of put in here gently.
Yeah, that should work just fine. And
all right, cool.
Grab your multimeter and throw the thermocoupler on there.
Actually bought a new one because I didn't have a temperature control.
I got that same one. Is that the?
Dude, wait.
Yeah, there's a thermocoupler in there. Oh, those will work too. You'll melt that end up though.
But this has. Oh yeah, it's not open. Too bad. What am I gonna melt?
Oh, you'd melt those nice lead catchers there, or whatever those things are called. You'll probably get a little melty on that shielding over the alligator clips too.
Okay. All right, and just kind of hook this dude on.
Yeah, anywhere. Like if you can just sandwich it in the vise somewhere, I think.
Got it.
So you're gonna want to throw your power supply on, and you're gonna want to make sure it's as low as possible. Like those things are pretty delicate, and they can't handle a full, anywhere remotely near a full load.
Should I not be on a rug?
I mean, it's up to you.
Here, let me just pull this back.
I mean, would your family miss you at this point if you were to electrocute yourself?
Yeah.
Well, then I'd maybe take a precaution or two.
All right, bear with me a second.
Yeah, if we could get that just the readout of the power supply in the shot, that would be.
Yep. Yeah, and then before we get off the call, I would just want to show you that Gibson real quick. I've never done it's a mahogany J45 banner.
Yeah.
So a little bit of input, wouldn't mind for sure.
You clean your work area like I do.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of shoving.
So
this is a good shot. This is good stuff right here.
All right. I gotta get that temperature gauge back.
Trevor, is there any chance your camera's dirty?
That's a possibility. I think a lot of this is light.
Yeah, you got backlight there. It's okay.
It's hard to get away from it. I can try and shut that other blind back there.
If that doesn't grab that, and actually that vise is going to act like a little bit of a heat sink, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But we'll get a rough idea.
All right.
Now we're setting the mood.
My cat's upset though.
Cat not a fan of electricity?
He wants the sunlight there.
Oh yeah.
Should I plug the dudes in first?
Yeah.
Black and red.
Yeah, I think so.
Don't cross streams.
That's right. So one of the telltale signs that you're approaching failure on this is actually can you slide everything back just maybe like 3 inches? Awesome. Okay. Awesome. So see if you can dial the current in the thing all the way down to 0 on there. I don't know what that 23 means. I've never seen it read 23. Huh. Turn it on and turn it back. Turn it off and turn it back on again. Huh. All right. Well, I don't fully understand this. Oh yeah, turn that down to like 1 or something like that. I'm a total heathen when it comes to this shit, so that should be good. Oh, so that's 23 volts. The volts is on the top. There you go. Yeah, give it like 1 volt and
1 volt.
1 volt and 1 amp.
Or is that 10? Sorry, 1.
Yeah. Just a good starting location. What's your temperaturometer reading there?
Got 18 centigrade.
Okay. Does that have the feature you can throw that on F, on Fahrenheit?
There's no F.
Okay. Well, we'll just deal with that. You know roughly the conversion. So what? 0 is 32.
Right.
So, what would 200 F be?
Great question.
Oh fuck. Jeez.
I got my phone out.
Okay.
C to F. What are we looking for? 200 Fahrenheit?
Yeah, let's just get to there and
so 93.
that sounds reasonable. Okay, so red lead on the bare wire, and black lead is close to the top of that. Yeah, as close to the top of that as possible.
All right.
So now let's start dialing. So did we get a change on the temperature?
22 degrees centigrade.
Okay. So one of the hallmarks of, and I haven't done one in a long time, and that went up from 18.
Yeah.
Okay. So I haven't done a single one in a long time. And maybe somebody that isn't a heathen in the comments of this can tell us what we're doing here. But with the current and the amperage. But so the telltale sign that it's ready to fail is the insulation starts to kind of look translucent or more translucent than it is. So right now that's got that nice white look,
Yeah.
but right before failure it'll kind of look like it's trying to phase shift out of this universe or something. It's kind of an interesting look. So go
Just
ahead.
down to clear.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So start dialing up the voltage and the and the amperage there.
Where are we going?
Uh,
3?
I would think probably let's get up to like 2.5. So they're not gonna work completely independent of each other because the voltage is related to the amperage.
Got it.
So you're probably gonna want to turn the current up. It's probably gonna be more about the current than the voltage for right now. So yeah,
Go to 2 or
yeah, two. So
I'm smelling things.
we're up to 29, 30. So your amperage slipped back down, but go ahead and turn the voltage up just a little bit. A little bit more on the amperage. Yeah, go up to 2.5, I think. So I'm a little. Try taking that thermocoupler off of there and manipulating that by hand if you can. Is that going to be possible?
um,
Like holding it to the end of it?
the tip, like where the wire.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but I'm a little concerned that that thermocoupler isn't getting an accurate reading.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Actually,
If I just.
before you do that, just turn that the whole electrical
Yeah.
side of it off.
And unplug it.
You can do that if you want. Well, it definitely got warmer. It's back down to 20 now. If you touch that the heater, just just lick your fingers first because it's so small. It dissipates the heat pretty fast.
Yep.
Easy. Like when I do a martin neck with these,
Yep.
like I set it in there, and then I set it up, and then I walk away from it for probably about a half hour.
Yep.
And then every time I come back, I'm always surprised it slides right out. All right, yeah, go ahead and turn it back on.
And we want to be kind of just touching
Yeah,
down
touching
here.
the bottom of it.
Okay. Now, does this whole setup work with the Variac too? Like if.
I haven't tried the Variac. I tried the LMI blanket controller,
Yeah.
but that's pulse width modulation, and so basically that works by throwing by intermittently throwing full load at things.
Yeah.
So that setup right there can't even handle like a millisecond of full AC.
Got it.
It just goes poof.
Got it.
But the Variac might work because it's actually
Oh yeah, we're like screaming here. Down at this end.
yeah. So it takes a while for the whole thing to heat up, and especially when it's like in a guitar and it's transmitting the temperature throughout it.
Yeah.
But you're like 85, 86, something like that. What's the condition of the insulation?
Still white.
Okay. You can go ahead and ease it up to like 2.6, 2.7, something like that. Oh, you're at like 100 and something C there?
Yeah.
111. That's probably pretty good. What did we
And
say?
then
What did we say 200 was?
um, 93. So yeah, up here we've got 82 further up. I mean,
Yeah.
that's at 4 inches.
Yeah, it's also like so a lot of the heat is going to start, down there where the nichrome finishes up.
Yeah.
Because it's doubled over there too, and I think it's got a higher resistance there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean that's it in a nutshell.
Got it.
And if you take your finger and you like kind of wet it, you'll and tap it on there, you'll get a nice little sizzle.
I'm gonna skip that for now.
Do that, yeah. Go ahead and skip that.
um. So one idea with the neck joint on my guitar, can this actually have a bend to it to fit into a space?
Uh, I would think you could bend it a fair amount, although that stainless steel it's pretty rigid, and I would think it would be more inclined to kink than
Yeah.
to have a nice bend.
Yeah.
Maybe put it in the fret roller or something,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
and see if you can produce a bend that way.
I've got 3 more 12-inch lengths, so
Yeah,
I've
that
got my drill bit and my experiment.
the price of those stainless steel tubes has really come down since I started doing this. I want to say those tubes were, gosh, close to $12 a piece when I first started doing this, and I think what were they, like $4 or something like that this time?
Yeah, they were like 425 or something.
Yeah, yeah. So that really like I kind of shelved this because these are pretty fussy, and I pretty much ruin them every time I do a neck set. This
Yeah.
last time I had one survive, and I was very surprised. But they're, you know, you either burn them up with the current, or you know, or you just getting them in and out, and like they'll stay, like the hole is so tight, they're hard to get in and out, and like they kind of drag through, as you're pushing the neck out, it kind of drags through and it crushes it. And
Right.
so this is actually Frank Ford's invention.
So we went way up, right at the tip
Yeah.
to like 150. What would I dial back? Are we trying to change both simultaneously?
I think so.
Okay.
If you bring the voltage down, I believe the amperage comes down at some ratio compared to the voltage. So you can kind of control the
Oh yeah.
amperage that way.
Yeah.
And then if you bring the current up, it's going to change I think because this is basically a resistor, it's going to change the voltage. I don't know. I kind of knew at one point, and that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, this looks like a good spot where it's hovering at 100.
Mm-hmm. So, and the results are going to vary if you hook two up at the same time.
Yeah, right.
But if you got a nice fat inlay in that guitar, man, I'd probably use the heat stick over these, unless you got a fancier idea, because you're pretty much limited to two with this.
Well, I was gonna try the heat lamp selectively through the humbucker
Yep.
route.
Yep.
A little bit of, maybe a couple holes on each side with a little bit of water, and just drilling to the bottom of the depth.
What's your glue on that?
No comment.
No comment?
I usually do hide glue, and I have no recollection of whether or not I did that on this guitar.
I'll tell you what, if you did tight bond, you'd be better off not using water.
Okay.
I know that in the StewMac video they recommend with the heat stick to use water, but it couldn't be further from the truth on white glue. It responds so well to dry heat, and all that water does is you're moving backwards just by swelling that joint.
Yeah, I got kind of stuck. I got the heat stick stuck when we start putting water in on one of them.
Now I do water with hide glue, and I drill my holes with like the night before and fill that joint with water.
Yep.
So that there's just kind of a inherent moisture in there that's ready to go, man. And those things slide apart. Now on this one too, like I put two of these on either side of the joint when I'm doing a Martin neck.
Yeah.
And then I drill a third small hole in the middle just to put water in if I'm doing hide glue and I need a little bit more water in there. But honestly, I've never had an issue with these and any hide glue neck joint. Like they just come right apart. And the white ones do too, as long as you don't put water in it.
Cool. Well, I totally get this.
All right.
Setup.
You want to look at that Gibson?
Yeah. If you can just, what I was hoping to get is like maybe a photo of just the way that you've got them running in parallel.
Sure. Well,
so that I can see what that looks like.
So,
but it's basically black running to black on the other. Red
exactly. It's just like this. So these are daisy chained into the thing.
Yeah.
And then one black goes to one thing. The other black goes to the other thing. And then I don't even think that it's necessarily crucial that you get like the same one to the same red to the same red. Like I think it's all the same. Maybe not.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to make a difference if like you've got the first one run to one and the second one run to another one. I'm not sure if it makes a difference, but maybe just err on the side of symmetry.
Sure. All right, let me grab the Gibson. Awesome.
Well, thanks for letting me stream this too. I think this will be a good thing.
Yeah, here, let me just hold up.
Oh yeah.
That guy. And I can take some photos too that you might be able to add in.
Yeah, if you could just give my channel a shout out if you feel like it. I don't know.
Yeah,
like right now my channel is called Ian Hates Guitars, so I don't know if you're down with that kind of negativity, but
I love it.
I think it sticks out like a sore thumb on YouTube too, because I think everybody's just real. Oh, look at this guy!
Yeah,
what's going on, dude?
He wants to be on the guitars, in the guitars.
That's a good place
chewing the wires.
That's a good place for a young cat.
Yeah, he's about 8 months. He's getting big.
Yeah.
There he is. Lentil.
Lentil, you say?
Yeah. Yeah, he's already after that. It's got a little heat still.
Yeah. Very interested. Is he going to be a shop cat?
No. All right, so
finish is falling off.
Yeah, whole thing.
I don't think I've ever seen one quite like that.
It's crazy.
What is it? Did it get super wet or something?
I think it got really wet. I love this spidering coming out from the bridge.
I mean, even the Nashville flood ones, I don't think I ever saw anything quite like that.
The back is normal, right? Just your typical crazing. Sides are pretty normal.
What did they do?
I don't know. I thought at one point maybe it was just like lots of pressure.
Yeah.
But it's thick. Oh man, the finish is so thick.
I wonder if that's. Do you think it got overspray? Sometimes when they overspray it to the point of crazy thickness, the finish does weird things, especially if they got a real different kind of lacquer, or even, some guys will do poly.
Right. Yeah, it's
But
really hard to
you know what
tell.
it almost looks like. I mean, I've accidentally pulled finish off before by not getting a spot of hide glue off, and like the hide glue will like will pull the finish. Have you ever seen that?
Oh yeah.
Don't tell my customers that. If you're a customer and you're listening, everything goes perfectly all the time.
Exactly. Yep.
It's one of the reasons why I call my channel Ian Hates Guitars, is I want to I kind of want to keep it between us. Like I don't want any people that don't hate guitars to drop by.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a comment on there that I saw that was like ruined or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what's ruined?
I,
Nothing about it has been ruined.
I replied to that comment simply, "You are a duty head."
That's what they deserve.
Yeah, I didn't put any effort into it. One other guy said, "Wow, I'm glad that's not my SJ." And I said, "Yeah, me too. I got it back together and it sounds awesome. It'd make me really sad if it was yours."
Ah, jeez. So, yeah, mahogany.
What I'll tell you, what, that piece of rosewood on that board too, that's like exactly the reason why you pull out the little ones.
Right. So I know that the joint is going to be straighter. The tenon, it's not going to be a Martin strong V. But I may go in like 3/8 of an inch in, just like usual.
Yeah, yeah. So you want it on either side. Chances are really good with that Gibson joint that you're gonna slide down the front of the mortise.
Okay.
And you're gonna slide into that pocket.
Got it.
So, and you just want to make sure that you're getting heat on both sides. I've never seen a mahogany one that was topped over the joint.
Okay.
But, is there any kind of like ridge going up to the fingerboard extension? Or is there a fingerboard extension shim?
No, there's no shim.
Okay. It's probably normal. But if for some reason you see the binding, like you're pushing on it and the binding's like coming up right there at the joint,
yeah,
just stop, and it will behoove you. What I do is I'll actually take a slitting saw and slit what I think would be the width of the dovetail in the slot that you're throwing your heaters in.
Yeah.
And then I just pound a razor blade into that, and that razor blade cuts all the way through whatever top would be over that dovetail and hindering that dovetail. Now sometimes there's a little bit like on the sides of the dovetail, but
yeah.
because when you break that pretty well, like that'll just break along the grain line usually. Now on mahogany, if it's like that on mahogany, it might put up more resistance than that. So, but that'll give you a good head start. There's nothing doing except for, it's almost better to do a little damage to the top than like cut the fingerboard extension completely off. That's just such a tragic event when fingerboard extensions get cut off. You really lose a lot of it. I think there's a lot to the rigidity of the fingerboard extension that keeps you from having to do multiple neck sets.
Because it wasn't this keeping the neck up.
It wasn't keeping it up?
No. That just put my hand in and pulled it. That was that. Same with the...
Cat, you're blocking the shot. Lentil.
Same with this guy.
Yeah, you just pull that out with a mouse fart?
Yep.
Stick a mouse in there and just squeeze its butt right at the bridge plate?
Came right off.
Yeah. My SJ, my personal one, I took that guitar completely apart. I hope to do a video on how to take tops off with the binding still attached.
Yeah, that sounded awesome.
But that X brace, I pulled it off. I grabbed it right at the middle of the X brace and went pop like that, and the whole X brace came off of my hand. And really, fuck building the ship in a bottle on those things. There's no way. I don't think you can through the sound hole like reliably glue those back together and have any hope of not having a repeat customer. Oh, those are real tasteful.
Grovers. There's a new set going on too.
Yeah, new set of Grovers, or are you putting Clusons on there?
Grovers.
Grovers.
This one's for Jay Maskus.
Oh man. Is there already like long gray hairs in there anywhere?
No, lots of dirt. I don't think he managed to play this much, but it does have a purple bridge pin.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That thing's
anodized aluminum.
That thing's celebrating diversity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna get off and get to work, Holmes.
Do it.
And have a good one.
Yeah, you too. I appreciate it, Ian.
All right.